Hey there, I'm JD and welcome to my channel. So today we're going to show you a close-up view of soldering a dial foot onto a back end of a watch dial where a foot has broken off. So as you can see in the picture on the right hand side, I've had a lot of practices soldering on dial feet. The first couple of them, as you can see on the left side of that dial, are full of a mountain of solder, and as I progressively moved my way around the clock and you look at the right hand side and the lower, a little bit lower right hand side, you'll see that my solder technique is getting much better. So in this video I'm going to show you exactly how much solder paste that you need to put on the base of a piece of 1.1 millimeter copper wire, and how to prepare the dial in the back to accept that solder and accept that piece of copper wire to be soldered on. So please enjoy the video. Give me some comments. This is the close-up people have been waiting for. I know. You've been waiting for this close-up. I know you have. Hey there, JD back. This is the end of a 1.1 millimeter piece of copper wire, and I'm adding some solder paste to the very tip of the wire for completing this dial foot. So I've practiced a bunch on different parts of the dial, and I've looked at how much solder paste really needs to be added, and it's not a lot. So I'm trying to get the right amount of solder paste added. So I'm going to try with just that amount added, which is not a lot of solder paste, and we're going to just get a close-up of that as I put this down onto the back of the dial. So in preparing the surface of the dial, I've got a Bergeron scratch brush, which I'm just going to use this to scratch off any surface problems here, and clean it up kind of thing, so that there's going to be, so it'll adhere better when the solder melts. So there we go, that's pretty much clean enough. And then you can wipe that off with a rag if you want, and then I'm just going to lower this and adjust it. So this could be a little tricky, but I'll just lower it and get another camera shot. Now I did file the end of the of this piece of copper wire, 1.1 millimeter copper wire, so that it was flat. And now I'm going to lower it onto the surface of the dial, and you can see how the combination of flux and solder kind of sticks there. And then what you need to do after you've put it down is take just a toothpick or something and just kind of rub the edges or push it in, so the solder that's along the side is kind of centered, and you can make use of that around the edges of this dial foot. So I just do that, and I think that's good enough. Got a little piece here that's kind of sticking out, so we'll get rid of that. And now I'm going to give it a couple of hits of high energy from the soldering machine. So turn this on here, and you should see the solder melt. Now I've done a little bit of practice and holding down the alligator clamp just a bit with a toothpick, and at the same time I do this, I'm going to touch the base 3 times like this. There, I touched the base 3 times. I could have accidentally touched the other one too, but so be it. So we'll see if that works. Now I let it rest in that position for at least 10 seconds, and that just gets the solder to harden a bit, and then I'll see if this is giving me any strength there. Turn off the machine. I'm unclipping it here and see if I've got any strength. If I don't, I'll try this again with more solder or something. Nope, that's just touch the end of the piece, and that is in there good. And then you can clean up around the edges here, because this is just paste here around the edges, so you can actually clean this up with the scratch brush, or see if I can just clean this up with the scratch brush. That just gets rid of some of the leftovers that are around the base of this. And it's kind of a combination of paste and solder at the base. So you can see that really nice solder joint at the very end of that, right? So, and then all I'm doing is clipping that off. So I'm going to see if I can stick with the close-up here to clip this off, hopefully, and see if anything flies as I clip it. Yeah, that flew. So there it is there. And now we're just going to file the tip of this, right? And with a rough file, not that rough, but sort of a medium file here. And I'm just trying to get the file in so it doesn't touch other things. And I want to tighten this up a bit to file and kind of hold it with one hand as I file it. So nice steady strokes with not a lot of pressure. And all I'm trying to do is flatten out that head. And see what that looks like. Starting to look pretty flat there. Just a little tiny bit more here. And as you can see, that dial foot's in there pretty good. It's not moving one bit. Alright, so that's kind of it. Just blow on that a little bit there, get rid of some of that leftover filings. So I've got this dial foot in really good. It's steady as heck, strong as heck. And before I actually put that in a watch, if I were to put this dial foot in the right position over here, I'd be cutting a small groove in that as well to allow the screw, when it goes into the dial foot, to basically keep that dial in, so not up. So you'd be cutting a screw on that, and you can look at the remaining dial feet when you lose the dial foot and see where that screw is cut, or just estimate where that's cut. And all I'm doing is putting a groove in there with a file, so I'm not going to show how to do that. So that's how you solder on a dial foot, and that's a close-up. And you can see I didn't put much solder paste on the tip of that piece of copper wire at all, just a very little bit of it. And when I started doing this, I was kind of blobmaster, as the one that was over here. It looks like a hill of solder, so you don't need that much solder on there. You just need to touch the bottom with solder and then scoot up some of the stuff that comes on the sides into the center, around the center. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you appreciate the close-up on that to see how that's done.